Kevin, I can't hold it in any longer. It's been weeks, nay months. We still don't have a title for Star Wars Episode 9.
Oh.
And I've complained about it so much to so many people in my life that I felt like it's about time to bring it on the show and complain to you, and complain to the viewers, to the listeners.
I'm a solutions guy.
Okay.
I'm happy to help you out.
Do you have the title of Episode 9?
We could make one up.
No.
Why
I
not?
need the official title of Episode 9, sanctioned by Lucasfilm and Disney right this second.
What if J.J. Abrams is looking for someone to jog his creativity? I don't know who listens to this podcast. It could be J.J. Abrams.
If you think J.J. Abrams picks the name of the movie, you're insane. It's a Disney committee for sure.
Well, that just improves our odds that one of those people
listening to this.
Hitch.
Okay,
yes.
Fine. Go. Well, no, wait. I'm not going to tell you to go because I already know what you would call it, and I don't like it.
What?
You make a joke out of it. You say, so he hit snooze, and that's all you got.
I forgot about that.
That's all you got.
No. Just so that way the listeners are in on the joke. 7. The Force Awakens.
Yep.
8. The Last Jedi.
Yep.
9. So he hit snooze.
It
tells you a little story.
It's a story. Well, if that's the title, I'm going to be really upset.
Just give me one title. I've given you So he hit snooze. And listen, you're just sitting there and naysaying me. You're Eeyoring my suggestion. And it's time you throw something out creatively.
Star Wars Episode 9. I got nothing. There you go. I got nothing.
I think we can agree So he hit snooze is the better title of the two.
God damn it, you're right.
You can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Turn the lights, grab a seat, pour yourselves a whiskey neat. It's time to judge the shit out of these future releases by the movie trailers. We're trailer hits. This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're trailer hits.
Look, I know we're not a Star Wars podcast, but I'm glad you got that off your chest. This is still a lingering thing for you.
I'm daydreaming right now.
But at the very least, it seems like you were able to kind of get it out of your system.
Yeah, I'm daydreaming right now that this is a Star Wars podcast.
It's not. It's Trailer Hitch. Hi, welcome to Trailer Hitch.
Welcome to Star Wars Hitch, everyone.
Shut up. I'm Kevin.
I'm James.
This is a trailer podcast in which we rate and review movie trailers. We rate them on a scale of need to see more, or never need to see. James and I both like a trailer. We give it a need to see rating. We see the movie, report back to you guys in a segment called Trailer in the Rear View, in which we review the trailer and the film. And
in retrospect.
Let you know how they compare. Did the trailer set us up properly? Did the trailer completely ruin it? And then just talk about the movie itself.
Did we like Star Wars Episode 9 title? It goes with everything.
It's really just a grab bag for what you can get in trailers.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah, but tonight we have far more than just Star Wars.
Yeah, it was so.
The
the last episode we did was the Super Bowl. The
Yeah.
Super Bowl rank them,
Yeah.
rank them up, right? And there was a lot that in that Super Bowl, but there, like the next day, I feel like there was like 4 more trailers that came out that felt like TV spots. That it was like. Were these initially prepped for Super Bowl spots and then they bailed on it or something? That's how it kind of felt for a little bit.
People aren't watching this because this game is super boring? Okay, maybe we'll hold on this until next week.
So, long story short, we have a lot to talk about. But we don't want to just cut things, Kevin. It makes me sad when we can't talk about stuff.
I know.
Even a little bit.
I hate cutting corners. I'll just say it right now. I'm a big fan of corners.
You're a Wendy's guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave Thomas would be proud. He didn't like to cut corners either, and neither do we here on Trailer Hitch. And so
first sponsorship question mark?
Yeah, Baconator Trailer Hitch, right? Just hitch up on
it'll
Trailer
kill
Hitch.
me in 20 years, but I'll eat it if you pay me money.
Die with a smile on my face. So Kevin, what should we do if we have all these trailers? What is there to do?
Well, we're going to just take this one step at a time, man. Okay. So because we have the first Child's Play trailer to talk about.
We have the first Child's Play trailer. We also have Long Shot.
Yes.
Which is a new Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron comedy. # Watch the Throne.
Goddamn right.
Yep.
All day, every day. And lastly, if you are in your late 20s and were on Facebook last week, you
That's
probably knew that the Yesterday trailer dropped.
That's right, I did.
We will be talking about that. We're saving that for last. Make y'all fucking earn that shit. But before we talk about any of those, again, way off in the distance, first things first, we're hanging out in the Trailer Hitch garage. And we got.
I liked how you said that, by the way. The garage, the Trailer Hitch garage.
Give it some class. Make it sound French.
It's fancy. It's nice. We're classy here on Trailer Hitch, eh?
Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're hanging out here in the garage.
Yeah.
And a trailer has pulled in. Now this is our tune-up segment. This is where we've already looked at the trailer, but we want to update you on the thoughts as more. Trailers come out. For this metaphor to work, I guess it's like this trailer is coming in for an oil change.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And
why not? I like it.
We're going to do an oil change, but because we're mechanics, we're also going to try and find shit wrong for it and charge them.
I don't think it'll be very hard. So it's...
Not to give James's opinion away, because the first tune-up we're doing is absolutely Aladdin.
You really don't know who I am. Genie, wishes, lamb, none of that ringing a bell.
Right, so this made a lot of people mad.
Talk about yesterday breaking the internet.
Yeah.
Something had to pave the way before yesterday happened. And that was the Aladdin.
The pioneer
Yeah.
of Will Smith's Genie. So before we crack that chestnut.
Sure. Before we
James-
rub that lamp, you say?
Thank you, thank
You're
you.
welcome.
James, just because you're our go-to Disney guy here.
Yeah.
Give us the spiel. What's going on with this teaser?
In this Aladdin teaser, well, they both open the same. They both open with Iago the parrot flying around. We get a lot of Cave of Wonders imagery with the tiger head in the sand. So we get our first differences, though, where we actually get to see and hear Jafar. The cartoon he's got a very sinister and low voice with a low timbre.
Goddamn right, yeah.
Timbre?
Timber. It's okay.
Is it really timbre?
Yeah, it is.
it
It's
was-
fucked
I
up,
thought it was
but
timbre.
it's timber. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. If you're thinking the voice,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
it's
all right.
wood. Go for it.
What?
It's
wood.
it's not literally wood. It's just that's a way to remember it. Timber wood.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I'll always remember that now.
I'm gonna test you next episode.
So Jafar has a naturally lower voice in the cartoon, and in this trailer it was kind of jarring.
Yeah.
Jafaring, because his voice was very higher pitched, I'd say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just am trying to say, in the context of the film, it might work really well with his version of Jafar.
Could be.
It's just based on my
Memory.
expectations and
Yeah,
memories
expectation is a
of
good way to put it.
Jafar's voice,
Sure.
because that's my favorite Disney movie. I know what Jafar sounds like, and that is just so far from the Jafar I know that it was jarring.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I think it's bad. I just think I'll need to see it in the context of the film
And that
to
was-
see how his Jafar goes.
Maybe 20% of why people weren't happy.
I'd
with
say
this
so.
teaser.
I think 20% is a generous amount of people or reasons that people didn't like this one.
Sure.
Moving past,
Yeah.
we get some visuals of other exciting stuff. We get Agrabah. We get the parade of Prince Ali Ababa coming in to Agrabah. We get a shot of Princess Jasmine. And, like her tiger's walking behind her, Raja, if you will.
I will.
You damn right you will.
I have to. That's the character. name.
Yeah. And we get a little glimpse of, and so it's kind of like montage-y, and then eventually we get to Aladdin with the Cave of Wonders crumbling around him. So that's usually after Abu touches something he wasn't supposed to, Abu being Aladdin's monkey. And then you get the final shot of Aladdin rubbing the lamp with the blue smoke coming out. Abu is there. The magic carpet is there behind him, looking almost identical to his cartoon counterpart.
I heard no complaints about the magic carpet.
So seeing the magic carpet, you know you're about to see the genie. You have to assume it's going to look just as good as the magic carpet did, right?
you know what they say about assumptions.
Look, I'm going to switch it over to you. What did we get in that reverse angle?
The best way I can put it is if Will Smith joined the Blue Man Group.
A animated Blue Man Group where they just face graft his face on it and it's like kind of floating
Yeah.
It doesn't look
Doesn't
great.
look amazing.
So the problem people have been having with this trailer, and by problem I mean what people have been enjoying the hell out of this trailer and making fun of it,
Sure.
is how Will Smith's Genie looked.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to, I don't think it has to do with it being blue. I think it has to do with, from like the head down, it was so obviously CG. But then there was just like this cookie cutter, like it was Will Smith's face that they just like superimposed right on a CGI thing.
I think the heart of what people are upset about, because I know there's a lot of, wow, Robert Williams, which granted, R.I.P. Like, and he obviously made a huge mark with that character.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think a huge part of what I'm not happy with that Genie is now the character is more Will Smith and not the Genie at this point. Like, when I look at that character, I don't think to myself, oh, that's the Genie. I think to myself, that's Will Smith with some real bad CG.
Yeah.
And that ultimately pulls you out of the film and distracts you. And I'm sure it's written somewhere in his 350-page contract, yo, if I play a CG character, you better use my face. And maybe it's high time that maybe him and his agents sit down and take that part out.
But, and it could be just that moment, though. Because there were some, like, Entertainment Weekly photos of Will Smith. And I think it was the cover. Will Smith, not colored blue or anything, but in his costume of like an actual vest and stuff from the movie. So I wonder if this is the beginning, and then as a genie, he uses his magic to appear more like a man and not be blue for a lot of the movie. I think that might be a way to go with it.
That might be a way to go with it. But
And
the
looking
thing
at
that
this,
I really
I hope
love,
so.
sure. But I think the thing that I love about the Genie's arc in the cartoon is ultimately his dream is to be free. And there is something striking about seeing this big floating blue fucker for the entire runtime. And then when he gets his wish and is unshackled and looks more like a man, that is a visual representation of that arc being completed. And so if Will Smith is just, I'm clearly just Will Smith, but with blue paint on me for most of the runtime, my concern is if you're still going to play that arc, that's really going to undercut that moment.
Sure. I think that's fair. I haven't looked into it that deeply yet. I'm more just focused on how I just didn't think the visual effect looked good.
Yeah. And to be fair, I would have to assume that we watch trailers with rough or unfinished shots in them.
All the time.
All the time.
Especially
Now-
blockbuster films.
Now, granted, Disney, with their fuck you money owning 90% of this industry, they should not be putting out shit with unfinished VFX.
That was my main thing.
But-
it's like, who saw this and greenlit it?
Yeah.
To go. I'm like, it looks unfinished. It looks like his face is not mapped properly to the movements, to the micro movements of that animated head and neck.
Yeah.
If you look closely, it just looks just the microscopic bit off. So that's that. That's Aladdin, guys. And that is what the internet has been talking about up until yesterday. The movie we'll be talking about.
But we're not
later.
going to be talking about it.
No,
yet.
we gotta wait a minute.
We're getting the hell out of this, Raj.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, Kevin.
We're getting ahead of ourselves and the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And we are going to be taking a quick stroll into the teaser trailer showroom.
We got a new teaser. We got a new teaser today.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
We got to talk about Frozen 2, man.
That's a movie.
True. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. So
thank
this is Frozen 2. So we open up with Elsa on a beach. She's looking out into the water.
Yep.
She steals herself. She gets ready. And then she Jesuses onto the water. Now, she's not literally just running on water willy-nilly. I honestly thought this was pretty cool. Every step on the water, a little block of ice forms. And so it gives her the appearance like she's running on water. She runs, then there's a big-ass wave, and it capsizes her.
Yep.
Back on the beach, frustrated, but okay, we're going to give this another go. She runs again. This time a wave comes, and she's able to kind of blast a ramp up for herself. We see her continue to run, and then a huge wave comes. She tries to use the same trick, eventually that ends up capsizing on her as well.
Yeah.
This is the beginning. Now, bear in mind, I kind of like this beginning because I think that image of her running on the water and having the ice form under her is really cool, making the ramps, that's awesome. I like that she clearly is not used to this thing, and we get that by her getting capsized that first time and her learning.
She doesn't know how to solve quite yet.
Yes. Now, I have no idea what this problem is.
No.
We never get that context. For all I know, just because I vaguely remember Frozen ending on a ship, maybe she forgot her phone charger there. Whatever it is, she is obviously trying to get to somewhere desperately.
Get off of this shore.
Yes.
Yeah.
From there, we just kind of go into a montage. We see all of our characters now. We see Elsa's sister, whose name I absolutely remember.
Anna.
Stop giving me that look.
It's Anna.
As I said, I knew.
You idiot.
So we get Anna. We get Olaf, the little snowman.
Yep.
Unfortunately, summer hasn't come. We get Kristoff. Is that I got it?
Kristoff is the reindeer.
Okay, cool. Who's the blonde dude?
Hans.
Hans, thank you.
Hans and Kristoff, yeah.
I remember
No,
Anna.
wait. No.
Uh-oh.
No.
Uh-oh.
I'm wrong.
Are you? You're a Disney expert,
Sorry.
man. I'm
no,
trusting you.
It's Hans, and then the reindeer is Sven. SV.
Oh, yeah.
Kristoff, I think, is...
first-
Unless Kristoff is the blonde guy. Unless you were right the whole time. Either Hans or Kristoff was like the villain of the first
The important thing is we
Frozen
get
movie.
all of the characters who you know and love from the first movie, if you know and love the first movie.
Yeah, except the ginger villain who's no longer there.
Yeah.
Which is either Hans or
Probably
Kristoff.
Hans is just such a good villain, man.
It really is, isn't it?
As we move on to a big old shot of our heroes looking out into an autumnal landscape. And we get our title card, Frozen 2. And then our last shot is the blonde guy who is either named Kristoff or Hans.
One of the two.
And Anna are in a forest clearing. Then suddenly Anna turns around, looks in camera, grabs Hans or Kristoff's sword and slashes at camera. Now, this is a pretty dope moment.
I fucking love that moment.
Because
I got real excited.
I got to see Elsa do something dope as hell.
Anna, right? Or was it Elsa?
I saw Elsa at the beginning get to do something dope as hell.
Gotcha, yeah.
And then I'm just kind of watching these characters sort of look off camera and go, "Abu?"
Yeah.
Basically just to reintroduce him to us. And to let us know, hey, they'll be in the movie. And it's like, kind of figure. That's why there's a 2 at the end of that title. But when we get to see Anna pull that sword out and slash, all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay. So Elsa isn't going to be the only one doing cool shit. And I'm happy that because that character is secular, you just make her like an unrepentant badass.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to get more out of that. This is very much just the teaserest of teasers, because we effectively just have that beginning scene with no context. I mean, it's a montage.
It's more than the Ghostbusters 3 teaser.
Sure.
So there's more to it than that. The
Ghostbusters 3 teaser was basically just a moving poster.
Yeah, it was rough. Yeah. So this really excited me as a teaser. As a teaser to a giant blockbuster franchise. You did it right. I mean, that's the way to tease people into an exciting adventure with characters that they already know. And they don't need to be sold on these characters anymore. They already know them. They already love them. Show me some cool new imagery. Show me some badass stuff.
Yeah.
Set to some like good pace. And then end on a badass moment. Title card. That's kind of why I thought Toy Story 4 was such a letdown, was because this is a behemoth of a franchise. Toy Story is a behemoth. It is massive. And it was...
more or less kicked off Pixar.
It was just a disappointing teaser.
Yeah.
And this blew it out of the water. This reminded me of like a good teaser for like a Marvel movie.
Yeah,
like one of the good ones.
Not
looking at you, Ant-Man.
I will also say, to the credit of this teaser, the music editing in here is fucking lights out.
Yeah.
So with every step on that water, we get those hits of the strings in the score. The editing throughout the entire trailer just works in simpatico with that song.
Yeah.
And so even though we don't get a big musical number,
which is fine for a teaser.
Which is absolutely fine. I think we can agree, at a minimum, this teaser is a step forward from the 20-minute short that played before
Coco.
Yeah.
You mean Frozen 2? And then this is actually Frozen 3?
Technically Frozen 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
It's a big step upward.
Yeah.
Moving on.
All right, we're moving on. So before we get to the main drag, you might be thinking to yourself, there were so many trailers that dropped of the 3 you mentioned.
Oh my
of
God.
Child's Play, of Long Shot, of Yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the trailer that I want to be heard talked about. Well, good news, folks. We're dusting off a pretty old segment for y'all. So early Trailer Hitch listeners know of a segment called Hitch-Hikers.
Hitch-Hikers, what's that?
For the new and uninitiated,
Yeah.
Hitch-Hikers is a segment where we go through multiple trailers rapid fire, give you our abridged thoughts on them. So the way this will work is I'll give you the title, I'll give you a short synopsis.
Very short.
Yes, of what it's about. James and I will both give you like little mini capsule
Yeah.
reviews.
This is a
we each
sprint.
give a rating. It's a sprint.
It's a sprint, not a marathon, guys.
Now, this is also a timed segment.
Yeah.
So, James and I, we tend to be verbose, as you know, as you have plenty of evidence. Do you see how far back we go on YouTube?
Verbose AF.
So, we like to time ourselves. We like to challenge ourselves, make sure we keep these thoughts nice and abridged. Here's the deal. So, we have a target time. If we miss that target time, James and I both take a trailer that we gave a never need to see to, and we have to watch that movie and do a trailer in the rear view on something we actively don't want to watch.
Yep. It'll be painful for us. It'll be painful for you. Nobody wants this.
Nobody wants this,
Nobody
so we're gonna
asked for it, but we're going to do it anyway.
We're going to do our goddamnedest.
Yeah.
So, now, it's been forever since we've done this segment,
Yeah.
but I'm feeling cocky.
You are.
I'm just saying it. I'm feeling cocky.
Okay.
I feel like we can do these 11 trailers in 4.5 minutes.
We have 11 of them, and you saying 4.5.
Yeah.
I think your confidence is giving me confidence, and it's
Okay,
like
good.
I feel like we can handle it.
Good.
And I have you
have a timer up.
a good amount of stuff to say too, so I think I can do it though.
I was listening to Twista all today to get ready for this. He's a rapper who just speaks very fast.
Thank you for
so-
explaining that to me because I did not.
I got
get
you.
it.
I got
okay, great. So I'm ready to click on this timer when you say go.
All right, well, I am ready to go right about now. Tolkien. It's about J.R.R. Tolkien coming up with a franchise that would spawn endless discussions, a bunch of Led Zeppelin songs, and 1,000 jokes about second breakfasts. You like Lord of the Rings, right? It's scrawled all over this thing, considering that the author's only dialogue is about the series everybody loves and has very little to do about him. Sure, he had a lover and was a World War II vet, but who wasn't in the 1940s? Maybe more personal details in a personal story would help sway me, but this is too deep in Fangorn, so never need to see.
Was it World War I or World War II?
I don't
Doesn't
know.
matter.
It doesn't matter.
Tolkien. This trailer would have you believe the movie's about journeys, adventures, magic, love, having courage, and fellowship. That movie sounds awesome. Unfortunately, the movie is about an author who writes Lord of the Rings, something containing all of these previous things that I'd rather be watching right now. Just kidding. This looks like it could be a creative way to do a biopic. Need to see more.
The Hustle. If you saw Ocean's 8 and thought, I wish I could see Anne Hathaway be a con woman again, then you're in luck, because she and Rebel Wilson team up to scam some dudes. For me, I saw Ocean's 8 and thought, I wish I could see Helena Bonham Carter be a con woman again, so I'm a bit more on the fence with this one. Putting smug dudes in their place is fun, but the comedy only hit intermittently, though the knife gag was pretty great. Until I get more intel as to why Anne Hathaway is taking Rebel Wilson under her wing, is one conning the other, for example, I don't think I'll send my routing number over just yet. Need to see more.
Well, if it's anything like the original, I know why. But this is a remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
There you
So
go.
the fact that you didn't know that makes my thing much more sweeter, Kevin. So The Hustle. Reboots of wildly popular franchise films have their place in the world. They do. But excuse me for being super biased when you do it with a perfect gem of a movie that doesn't get enough attention on its own anyway. Though I'm super skeptical because Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is one of my favorite comedies of all time, this trailer isn't without its moments. As long as Rebel Wilson isn't falling over or Anne Hathaway isn't speaking. Because that accent is atrocious. Need to see more.
The Souvenir. It's about a high-class woman wanting to leave her cushy lifestyle behind and enter the world of art, finding her voice as she falls out of love with her significant other. Granted, there are parts in this trailer that practically scream, "Can you tell this is British?" And the intellectual bullying with the title cards is fucking extra. Otherwise, really Douglas. Love the tender humor of the opening, and seeing a character grow with a non-intrusive camera to let her and the audience figure things out for themselves was the extra crumpet for me. I'll take a second one of these souvenirs so I can send one to my mom, please. Need to see.
I know Tilda Swinton is the world's most convincing chameleon, but I draw the line at her playing her own daughter. It's just unfair to every other actor on the planet. Oh, that's actually Tilda's daughter. Okay, I'll allow it then. Especially because I think this looks really good. Need to see it.
Double need to see! Okay, moving on. The Dirt. It's a biopic about Motley Crue. Look, I know you imagine a bunch of cocky but hopeful kids having one huge idea, getting big, partying a shitload, getting into drugs, someone punching a mirror, someone crashing a car, all before coming together at the end to play one hell of a show. And you're correct. Never need to see.
I have an endearing soft spot for 80s hair metal bands, which I'm sure Motley Crue would love that I phrase it that delicately. And while this trailer does look like it injects some of the band's energy into the film, it's still struggling to be interested in the story of the band's antics. Need to see more.
The Highwayman. It's about the lawmen who took down Bonnie and Clyde by any means necessary. Oh, totally fair. I understand that Bonnie and Clyde were pretty ruthless, and the Arthur Penn-directed flick didn't really capture that. So now we'll get a movie about the lawmen, who violently beat and shot people without recognizing that method in of itself is also morally corrupt. Hold up. Never need to see.
They sort of reference it. Kevin Costner says we're the bad guys in it. Anyway,
I mean,
not
like,
important.
It's really rooting for you. It's really rooting for the guys beating people.
That's true. The Highwayman. I really dig the vibe of this one. I think it's a really effective way to get some fresh interest in the 1930s Bonnie and Clyde story to make it feel as much like a Western as possible. And I think the trailer succeeds in that style. Or maybe it's just because they said the word cowboy like 100 times that made me subconsciously think they succeeded. Oh well, mission accomplished. Need to see it.
Holy shit.
I know.
Her Smell. It's about the lead singer of a punk band oscillating between being a hero in the eyes of her fan base and an out-of-control drug addict behind the curtain. Now, not too much is given here about her character that we can't autofill with punk rock cliches, so we'll look at the style instead. Punchy close-up, stylized lighting, and icy medium shots. Though this is definitely different for Alex Ross Perry, who typically writes and directs acerbic but mellow character pieces, and Christopher Robin. Seriously, he co-wrote it, and I'm still trying to process that. That said, that style isn't quite enough for me to go into the mosh pit just yet. Need to see more.
You practiced saying these out loud, didn't you? You're not stumbling at all, you bastard. Her Smell. I think what they're going for here is a sort of punk rock, disjointed, chaotic style in the edit to parallel the main character's disjointed, chaotic, substance-abusing nature. Like, I get it. I just don't think it works. It makes for a really uninteresting trailer in my opinion. Also, I barely wanted to see Vox Lux. What makes you think I want to see Vox Lux now with 40% more angst? Never need to see it.
The Haunting of Sharon Tate. It's a horror movie riff on a real multiple homicide. Dude, for real? I can assume that was what these people went through was scary as hell, and to ask us to live vicariously through that chaos with jump scares is exploitative at best, dumb as fuck at worst. The only saving grace would be if the filmmakers pulled a Inglourious Bastards and have Sharon Tate win at the end. But as long as we're evoking Tarantino, his version of this story is coming out a few months after this. As such, this trailer is the equivalent of someone writing first on a message board. Yeah, we can see your first, but what do you have to say? Never need to see.
The Haunting of Sharon Tate. First of all, full credit for doing the story as a horror film. There's some creativity to that, and the trailer does a good job of showcasing that aspect. The trailer knows that people know this story, so the trailer needs to sell you on something different from what you already know, a dead woman's perspective in the style of a slasher film. Will it be accurate? Almost certainly not. Is this trailer going to admit that? Why would they? Anyway, I don't really care about this movie at all. Never need to see it.
Yeah, double never need.
Double never.
All right, Teen Spirit. It's about a young woman entering a singing competition and becoming a massive pop artist, leaving behind her amicable manager and, in a way, herself. It's Vox Lux. If the pretentiousness was turned down a few decibels, and Elle Fanning, fresh from a Refn flick, implored the director for more neon. Maybe I'll see the show, but we'll probably leave while folks chant for an encore. Need to see more.
Well, this is at least a bit more coherent than Her Smell. I'll give it that. But again, just as uninteresting to me. I'm only now realizing how ridiculously flooded we are with movies about famous musicians, real or fictional, dealing with the fame. Yeah. Bohemian Rhapsody, Vox Lux, A Star is Born, The Dirt, Her Smell, and now Teen Spirit. Just exhausted by it all. Never need to see.
The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot. It's about an old man who claims to be Hitler's killer being chosen by the FBI to take down a virus-carrying Bigfoot. It seems caught between being that absurd romp the premise belies and a character study of a man who builds his own mythos. If it was one or the other, I would run to the theater so fast you could see my Looney Tunes dust cloud in the air. But the imbalance of tones leaves me to wonder just what exactly I'm in for here. Should I expect a wacky virus-carrying Bigfoot with stylish locales? Or should I expect more of a Big Fish story with a cheesy fucking score? But hey, Sam Elliott, need to see more.
I'm a simple guy, Kevin. I like mac and cheese. I like rock music. I put my pants on one leg at a time. But you know what I like the most? Movies that remind us that Nazis are villains and that Bigfoot needs to be killed. Not only does this trailer have those two things, Kevin, but the fucking title alone has those two things, in all seriousness. I think the trailer could stand to be a bit more bonkers in tone. But otherwise, need to see more.
Okay, Rocketman. It's a biopic about Elton John. Good lord, I've written it's a biopic about a lot today. Anyway, the teaser trailer for this was fantastic. Promising an operatic musical version of the biopic was amazing. So it's a bit of a bummer to see this new trailer largely eschew that aspect, but given Bohemian Rhapsody's insane box office numbers, it's not surprising. Even then, we still catch glimpses of these choreographed dance numbers, and even a little La Vie en Rose nod with a weary Elton John grabbing a bat and suddenly being transported to stage. I'm pulling for this trailer to be suffering from "fuck, do the thing that made a bunch of money" itis, but based on this trailer, I've been crocodile rocked down to a need to see more.
Come on, musician movies. We just had this talk with Team Spirit. Just kidding. I am really stoked for this movie. Rocketman gets a pass. I know it hits all the notes of things we just complained about, but it looks like it could be a proper musical on top. From the dance move poses, to the costumes, to the performances, to the fucking music, man. This looks like the breath of fresh air of a music biopic that I've been waiting for. That's why, for me, this one stands out like a candle in the wind. Need to see it.
The Kid. It's about Billy the Kid and like 8 other people. Right. I'll admit that from a narrative standpoint, this fucker's all over the place. Who these characters were in relation to each other wasn't super well established based on the first watch, but this looks well acted to boot, and up to and including Chris Pratt being a bad guy? Neat! Hopefully another trailer with a less anachronistic song choice and a stronger narrative through line will help, but the promise is there. Need to see more.
It was confusing getting everyone's relation to each other.
What the fuck was going on?
Also, you said altruistic?
Anachronistic.
I thought it was the perfect amount of anachronistic. Anachronistic.
We'll define it after we're done. We're being timed.
Pretty much all I know about Billy the Kid I've learned from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, so not much. But man, I think this looks good. I love a good Western, and this trailer sells this one properly. Good introduction of the characters, good sense of action, teases strong character relationships, awesome song choice. Looks great. My only qualm is that it's a little bit confusing what Ethan Hawke's role in everything. Like, I know he's the sheriff, but like, who is he compared to everyone else? But I love this. Need to see it.
Okay, and time.
And done. 10 minutes.
Holy shit.
And 12 seconds.
Oh my god, there were seconds on top of it.
There was more, Kevin. So.
Oh god, Twista has fucked us again.
That was horrendous.
Yeah.
And I apologize to the listeners.
That was more than double what we were trying to do.
Who we promised 4 minutes. But you know what? Tough. You're listening to us, so I imagine you find us somewhat entertaining. And there you go. That's Hitchhikers.
God, I hope so.
That's a failure of a Hitchhiker. So Kevin, what does that mean for us here?
Oh, for us? Well, that means that James and I will be watching a movie that we both gave a never need to see.
That's right.
So we have done this twice before on the show. Hopefully our bad movie correspondent Jenny Hawks will be able to join us and shed some light. But here's the deal. So what we're going to do is we are going to throw to you, the listener, on our various social medias. You'll be able to figure out what all of those are at the end of the episode. We are going to put up a poll, and that poll will have a few different movies from you to choose from. You as the listener get to vote and punish us and make us pick which never need to see movie we have to watch and review.
That's right.
So keep an eye out on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram. Because we have to do this. No, I'm excited. I am genuinely happy to have Jenny back.
Yeah, we do have fun watching these bad movies and talking about them afterwards in a special episode.
Yeah,
special bonus episode. So I think that's always fun. So yeah, it'll be a bad movie, but we'll have fun with it. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Because judging trailers for us is child's play.
That's
right. Speaking of,
there's a horrifying transition.
Introducing your new best friend.
People, let me tell you about my best friend.
Chucky?
Let me tell you about Child's Play. It's directed by Lars Klevberg, written by Tyler Burton Smith. This is starring Aubrey Plaza, Gabriel Bateman, Brian Tyree Henry, Tim Matheson. Our random shout out, because we here at Trailer Hitch, we like to give random shout outs to lesser known casts or crew members.
I know
because
I
the
do.
top billed people, they like to hog all the credit.
Yeah, those bastards.
All right, so we're going to shout out Eddie Flake, who plays Angry Customer. Hey, Eddie, good job, bud. You're in a movie.
Huzzah! Well done. Moving on.
Hope you calm down. All right, James, give us the hubbub. What's going on in Child's Play?
Child's Play. So this trailer opens up with a factory putting together what is the Buddy. B-U-D-D-I.
I will say, when this trailer started, there was a part of me that was like, oh, fuck, it's one of those YouTube ads. Because it looked so clean and polished.
Yeah.
And then I had to restart the trailer because I went, oh, wait, nope, this is part of it.
That was it. Okay. So we get the manufacturing side of building this mysterious toy.
Yeah.
And then we set to the song, Let Me Tell You About My Best Friend. Mm-hmm. We get some voiceover explaining that this is going to be like at the forefront of toy technology, and everyone's going to want it. Everyone's going to have it. You're going to be a loser if you don't have one of these buddies.
Yep.
And then we get a shot of Audrey or Aubrey? It's Audrey, right?
Oh my God, we've been calling her Audrey Plaza, haven't we? It's totally Aubrey Plaza. Whoops.
So I was very prepared for you to cut this out of the episode, Kevin. But now I feel like it has to be in and me saying the wrong name, which happens,
nah,
right?
It's okay.
I
think I said Audrey earlier.
Yeah, so it's Aubrey.
And if I did, I'm so sorry. If I didn't, then
Look,
I'm
let's
a
just
genius.
call her April Ludgate. That's all we want to do.
There we go.
Yeah, okay, so April Ludgate gets her child one of these toys, quote unquote. He opens it, and we get the first divergent from, if you are familiar with the original Child's Play movie, which is about a homicidal maniac doll murderer. That is using voodoo, that old one. This one looks like it straight up just like scans the boy. So with like infrared and like technology and shit.
Yeah, I want to recognize you as my buddy.
Yeah.
God
So
damn it.
so it's clearly setting up a advanced technology or maybe even an AI aspect of this movie. Whether or not it is a like HAL situation of AI going on a murdering spree, or if that's just like a red herring and this is just happens to be an AI doll that was also possessed by voodoo is unclear. It's unclear at this time. What we do know is it's a bad doll. It kills people. And then by the end, it's a montage of death and destruction. Brian Tyree Henry's looking on real scared and nervous. I think he's a cop in this. Maybe a security guard. Aubrey Plaza. I nailed it that time.
There you
right?
go. There you go.
Nailed it. Aubrey Plaza is about to be hung, I think. She's like duct taped, but she also has like a rope around her neck, I think.
I wasn't completely clear with what that final set piece was.
Whatever it was.
There was a bar that was coming to her at about head level.
It looked like it was raising, though. Like, I don't know. It's. You're right. There is some mystery there, but it looks.
It doesn't.
Scary.
I don't think it's supposed to be mystery. I mean, like certainly Aubrey Plaza is playing it well, but at the same time, it looked like the bar was kind of like coming to her head, but at the rate it was going, it looked like it would just sort of like bump her, which
it would bonk her.
I mean,
bonk her. Yeah.
Maybe she's had too many concussions, and if she has one more, that'll do her in.
Yeah,
there might be a lot of backstory here that we're just missing from her.
But from her look, she's definitely
terrified.
She doesn't know what's happening behind her.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with not exactly understanding the layout either.
It's also worth noting that the kid is armed to the teeth when he turns around and sees his mom.
And screams mom. The kid looks good in it. Doesn't look annoying or weird or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we don't get a lot of... It is a very brisk trailer.
It's a brisk trailer, or it's a long teaser. However you want to look at it. Well, we'll look at it as a trailer because we're actually rating it.
Well, and it also bills itself as a trailer. So you open the fucking...
Hence you in our main drag, Child's Play. So that's essentially it. Then we cut to the title card, Child's Play.
Yeah.
We never see Chucky himself. We heard him called
We get him.
Chucky.
Yeah, we get like a over the shoulder shot.
We get inserts of his hand or his leg or something.
His clothes.
Yep.
That sort of stuff.
But that's about it. We don't really see any bit of Chucky, which I kind of liked. There's that aspect.
We see the
of
aftermath of Chucky.
Yeah,
we see people
the carnage
being attacked. Yeah.
I kind of like that. It reminds me. I like it when a horror film can do that. Granted, that might just be the trailer, and I think it probably is just the trailer. There probably is plenty of Chucky full on in this movie. But the trailer reminded me of Jaws, where it's like you don't really see him coming. You're getting the carnage, and that's about it.
Yeah, and I think the big question I have going into a Child's Play remake
Ask me, Kevin.
is, are you going to call attention to how ridiculous it is that a doll is murdering people? Like something that is maybe shin high.
I think the original calls attention to it.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to, right? They know how ridiculous it sounds and looks.
Yeah, and I think I would have liked that in
the
this
trailer. Interesting. Okay.
Now, I'm not saying you necessarily have to go Puppet Master of the Littlest Reich with this.
It
where it's
sounds like
have
you
to...
are. I do remember that trailer. Good
Exactly.
callback.
Exactly.
Good callback. Thomas
that
Lennon
one,
was in that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That one definitely leaned into how fucking silly its premise was. And I'm not necessarily saying you have to go that far. I would say it's either going one extreme or the other. It's like you either make this a joke or you just make it so bafflingly horrifying that I don't care anymore that this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And right now, I get the impression that they're going for the latter, where they're going more for the horror. That said, there's a lot of stylish shots throughout this. The first time we see the kid unwrapping the present, it's a POV shot from Chucky's perspective.
Mm-hmm. And then him scanning the kid.
Yeah, when we get that... Exactly. When we get the guy falling off of the building, it's like we see him wrapped up in Christmas lights, terrified. And then when he falls, it's brief, but we get a shot of... It's two dudes are just standing outside and one of them's lighting a cigarette when the body crashes onto a car.
Yeah.
It's very stylish, and I was digging the style. But that said, it seems to be going more for like, we're going for horror right now. And without Chucky there, it's one of those things where it's like, well, is this going to be that horrifying? It's like, it looks scary right now because you're trying to make me forget that your villain is the size of a shin. Yeah.
The height of a shin.
The height of a shin,
But
yes.
the width of probably a watermelon. Okay? Let's give it a little bit more credit.
That's a fair measurement. That's a fair measurement. That said, I still feel like I could kick it.
Yeah, you probably could just kick it. What did you think of this trailer on overall sense?
Overall sense, I thought it was okay. That beginning is really fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
That said, we kind of like abandoned that idea of like this being a commercial for Chucky.
Yeah, that's abandoned mid-montage.
Yeah,
It's like, it's almost like Aubrey Plaza pulling the toy wrapped in a Christmas wrapping paper out of the closet. It almost felt like that shot was still part of the manufacturing montage. So it was interesting that it just like...
It just sort of swept up. And yeah, it's one of those things where I think the parts of this trailer, so it's like the beginning that plays as an advert for Chucky. Mm-hmm. I think the trailer that plays for straight horror, I think those things more or less work separately for me. But that said, together, it felt like I was getting two different trailers in one.
Yeah.
That didn't necessarily coalesce.
That's fair. They weren't very cohesive.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair critique. I didn't get that at first, but I think the more you talk about it, the more I could have done with a little bit more goofiness. That's what I want this movie to go in. And I feel like style of
an advert for Chucky that ends with murder. Awesome. Yeah. And like that, I think at least clues me into the fact that the filmmakers know this is pretty fucking goofy.
Well, you know what else would have been a fun thing? And this doesn't even have to be a thing that is actually in the movie, but you could have just shot for this trailer. Spokesperson doing like damage control PR on a YouTube clip, an interview.
Yeah.
You know? And,
where it's like you play the first half of it like an advert, and then the second half is the recall for that doll.
Yeah. The recall. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think there's ways you could have gone with it in that sense. But I did enjoy myself with it. I think there's a lot of good in the trailer.
Totally.
I like how they don't show Chucky. I like the style of the shots. I like the music choice.
Mm-hmm. They're doing a thing that's becoming pretty common with horror movie trailers now, which is the Evil remix. And I would say that the Evil remix of Let Me Tell You About My Best Friend does work.
It's effective. Yeah. And I wouldn't, as in terms of like the It's or the Pet Cemeteries of the world.
Yes.
This is still kind of lower on the totem pole just because there's still a lot to be desired in this. It felt a lot like a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
They marketed it as trailer. It's the trailer length. Therefore, we are ranking it like a trailer. I think it's fair to knock it a couple points for it feeling like a teaser trailer. I don't think that's out of the question. So that's what I'm doing there too. At the end of the day, this is a need to see more for me, but strong. Like I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing.
And I completely agree with you, man. I'm definitely at a need to see more, but I'm eager to see more. Show me more.
Absolutely.
I would love to see a second trailer and be like, this is the one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is a Child's Play movie that I would happily go
and I'm sure they're going to show us Chucky himself in the next trailer. If not throughout the trailer, at least at the very end, they'll, reveal him Aladdin, Will Smith style. And people will go, oh my God, how horrifying.
How crazy would it be if it was just Will Smith's face on the Chucky doll? It's not his voice, but it's just his face.
Can you imagine just Will Smith with red hair? Just CGI red hair coming out. And that gives you shudders at night, for sure. Kevin.
Yeah, we certainly hope that seeing Chucky in a Child's Play trailer would not be a long shot. No. So in the meantime...
Far from a long shot, I would say.
In the meantime, let's go to an actual long shot and take a look at that trailer.
Let's do it.
What is the relationship exactly?
I used to babysit for him.
You babysat for him? Wow, time has not been kind.
I need some writers to punch up my speeches. Fred's writing is really good, and he knows me. I feel so scared.
In order to write better for you, I should kind of get to know you better if you have a minute.
I actually have 7.
7 minutes in heaven.
Ready, aim, fire, because this is Long Shot, directed by Jonathan Levine, written by Liz Hanna, Dan Sterling. Our cast is as follows. Charlize Theron, hashtag watch the Theron, baby. Seth Rogen, Alexander Skarsgård, Bob Odenkirk, Andy Serkis, Randall Park, O'Shea Jackson Jr. Our random shout out is going to go to a crew member. We are going to shout out...
Are we?
Shelby Golomek, who is the art department runner. Hey, Shelby, I hope you're having a seat because you've been running around this entire movie.
It's a pretty big gig, man.
Longshot begins with Charlize Theron's character being pulled into the president's office, and the president endorses her to be the next candidate for president of the United States.
Yep. Bob Odenkirk.
Yep.
As said president,
As
I believe.
said president,
yeah.
and Charlize Theron is Secretary of State. Now you
Which
might
state?
be like, which state? All of them, which is a good joke. But now we're immediately like, oh, Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State. What sort of parallels are we going to be drawing here? Stop thinking that because they're not doing that.
Yeah.
Because next we go to a party. Seth Rogen is there with O'Shea Jackson Jr., who is his friend. And Seth Rogen's like, I'm pretty sure I know her. And sure enough, like a security guard comes and says the secretary wants to speak to you. He goes up. Turns out that Charlize Theron's character babysat Seth Rogen's character. Seth Rogen is now a journalist, and he was kind of like a reunion with his babysitter, and then all of a sudden, whoop, 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 falls down the stairs. Charlize Theron, now running for president, needs someone to punch up her speeches. Well, this journalist that she knows who fell down the stairs like a jackass is a pretty good writer.
Literally fell into her life again.
Exactly.
That's right. It's a meet cute.
A meet cute.
A re-meet cute.
A re-meet cute. And
it's
so
a thing.
The two of them continue to meet and be cute.
Yeah. Oh,
and that is
so
that is the
Kevin.
Trailer. That is the trailer. So to start, I mean, Charlize Theron and Seth Rogen are both very charismatic actors.
Yeah.
and they definitely sell their connection to each other. I don't think the movie really calls into attention that the babysitter would have to at least be like 10 years older than...
Not necessarily 10. Like, you could go a lot of ways with it. I'm glad they fit in a flashback in this trailer.
They did.
Because you could visually see there isn't that much of a age gap between them, even when they were kids. He's definitely younger.
Yeah.
But he could be a part of a family where the parents were just super overbearing and were like, we need to have a babysitter for you, even though you're 15. You know, that type of family. And maybe the movie goes into that. I liked that they showed a flashback, though, because it made me go, okay, there is an age gap where at that age, that girl never would have like considered dating this little kid. He clearly had a crush on her even then. But now they're both adults and like not that far in age.
I think I'm trying to assert logic into
Don't
romantic
do that.
comedy.
What are you doing?
And that's a bad idea.
Have you ever seen a romantic comedy?
Thank you. Yes.
You're
please.
welcome.
Chide me. So
you need a Will Smith Hitch in your life. Tell you how it's at.
Or a Will Smith Genie, whichever one can come into my life. I will say, like, there's a section in the middle where a bomb hits and her and Seth Rogen are like carrying dudes over their shoulders. That kind of felt like a different movie for a second. And then we went back to the romantic comedy for the rest of it. That was definitely jarring for me. And I feel like, honestly, if I had that throughout the entire trailer, like that sort of absurdity, I think I would have enjoyed it. But them hitting on, oh, look, someone did a compilation of him falling down the stairs. Let's all watch this on YouTube. That in of itself isn't really that engaging for me.
Oh, no, the button was relatively weak, I would say.
Yeah, I would say that the assistant of the Secretary of State being like, I don't fucking like this dude, that's pretty fun. Like, that's a fun through line.
Yeah, the assistant, Diane Raphael.
Yeah.
Hilarious. She has a very understated role in this, but I think her delivery is just really good. Even small lines of just like her talking to herself saying, I don't like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think O'Shea Jackson Jr. for like the 2 scenes he's in is like good. But like it's
not much. He's not much to do in this though.
Correct.
Like, he's really just there to point out obvious things. Like, you're the Julia Roberts and she's the Richard Gere of this romantic comedy.
Oh, cool.
Comparison.
I mean, like, the little subtext we had in this movie is now just like laid bare.
Yeah.
I think that if you're a fan of romantic comedies, Run Don't Walk, and I am sitting across from someone who is a fan of romantic comedies. So
I was grinning like an idiot. I can't even
How about you tell me how you felt?
Sure.
About this?
I was immensely charmed by this trailer. I think the bomb scene is a very fair critique. It's definitely different. It feels like it could be in a different movie, especially like the slow motion, goofy run out from the action. You know, it's still humorous because of like the look on Seth Rogen's face and the way he's carrying the person by upside down by like their leg.
The payoff for it, like when they're about to kiss in the pantry.
Yeah,
those 2 people who they saved are like just question mark. They're not in that scene.
Sure,
you know what I mean. Like there's a lot. It's like, oh, we want to have this quirky and fun moment, but because it doesn't play into our romantic comedy, now we're going to forget about that to have this moment.
I was okay with that, though. And I'm very forgiving about certain things like that. I just really liked their chemistry in it, too. I think that's fun. I think there's fun dynamics there, especially when you can get good, funny people to portray your characters. O'Shea Jackson Jr., that's one of my qualms with it. He's really just there to like point out stuff.
He's the generic romantic comedy friend.
Yeah, and like I hope he has more to do in the movie, but in this trailer he does not.
Right.
And that's a little, boring. But this was something I really enjoyed, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it. I thought it was really funny. We obviously disagree with this, so it's fine.
It's a mild disagreement. I mean, them asking each other 20 questions sort of works. It's one of those things where it's like it works in the context of this being a romantic comedy, but from the guise of I'm your speechwriter and I'm trying to know more about you, Why does the speechwriter need to know, like, all these personal
I have an
details?
answer for you already. Are you ready for it? Are you prepared?
Hit me with it.
For this intel?
I feel like I know it, but go for it.
You don't. You wouldn't.
Exactly.
In just a president candidate speechwriter relationship.
Yeah.
But that's not what this is. They
That's not what this
clearly
is.
have an
They
attraction
have
to
an
each other,
attraction
so
to
they're
each other.
allowing this kind of thing to happen.
I know.
You don't sound like you know, Kevin.
No, it's not that. It's just I'm disappointed by the answer.
Why?
It's just because
You don't think that's not good enough?
No, I just feel like you could have more fun with him trying to eke more professional information out of her and then it becoming flirtatious from that. Instead of just going straight to, it's like you're basically giving me the cheese without the maze. Like, I want to see the maze too, you know, baby?
But it's a trailer.
I know it's
We
a
can't- we
trailer,
can't
but at the
see the
same
whole
time, at
maze.
least no. Like, I don't. But that's the thing.
The trailer would all be the whole
giving me
maze.
they're giving me the cheese, and
I
it's
sound
the
like
trailer.
Jerry Seinfeld.
The trailer should be the maze, James.
I just want the cheese. Give me the
That's
cheese.
fine. That's fine. We wanted different things out of this romantic comedy.
I
trailer.
wanted the cheese. I got the cheese. This is a need to see it for me.
Okay,
God damn
very
it,
cool.
Kevin.
I am happy that you got that cheese. I am fine that this is cheese. It's one of those things where I guess I'm just more of a maze guy and then cheese. As such, I'm gonna need to see more. I will agree that the chemistry between these two characters is very charming.
Yeah.
This definitely looks super lighthearted. I feel like for me, this is the quintessential, when it comes on HBO, I watch it when I'm hungover on a Sunday. Because our rating scale is determined by would we go and see this in a theater?
Yep.
As of right now, I probably would not yet.
I
But
would.
I'm
I
gonna need
would
to see
run,
more.
don't walk, as you would say, Kevin. I'm there.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad that we got done talking about cheese.
Yeah. Hopefully that's something we can leave in the past. Never talk it about again until... Oh, I fucked up that transition.
You know what? I was going to say it'd be really cool if we started a podcast where we reviewed movie trailers, but we talked about them. Because, you know, Trailer Hitch doesn't exist.
It what? Am I coming up with this idea for the first time in my life and only it's just me? I'm going to have to do it on my own?
Do you genuinely not know who the Beatles are?
Genuinely.
Then I'm in a really, really, really complicated situation. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me.
Sorry, I'm just listening to Jack's new song.
What's this one called?
Leave it be.
Let it be.
Well, rock on, Jack.
Oh, yeah!
Dear Prudence, I got a movie for you. This is Yesterday.
My name's James.
It's a Beatles reference. It's a movie involving the Beatles. We're going to
Who
get
are
into
the
it.
Beatles?
This is directed by Danny Boyle, written by Richard Curtis. This is starring Himesh Patel, Lily James, Kate McKinnon, James Corden, Ed Sheeran. Our random shout out is
Paul McCartney.
Going to go to no. This is even better. Sam Okell, who did songs and score recorded and mixed by. Hey, Sam, you had to change these Beatles songs just enough so that way the Beatles wouldn't sue the ever-living shit out of you, and that the songs wouldn't cost hundreds of millions of dollars and eat up the entire budget. So, Sam, good God, buddy, good job.
The Beatles or Michael Jackson estate doesn't sue the
It's
crap
probably
out of
Michael Jackson's estate. Who the fuck knows who owns the rights to those songs anymore, man?
That's a whole other podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, sure is. that's all this is, like this American Life
Yeah,
episode.
exactly.
It's just like, who owns this shit and why is it so expensive? But forget about the Beatles, because everyone else forgets about
Let's
the Beatles
focus
in
on
this
Yesterday,
trailer.
man. Yeah.
So this opens up with a guy performing his fucking heart out. We cut to a bunch of kids listening to his song.
Not
It's
even
like,
a bunch. There's like 4 there.
I mean, like, yeah.
It's a big room.
Yeah.
It's not full.
Nope, there's just 4 kids not even really paying attention. This is this musician's life. He's frustrated. He is riding on his bike one night when all the electricity cuts out and he gets hit by a car. He's missing some teeth, but like, you know, someone gives him a guitar as like a get well present.
Lily James?
Yep. And so he picks up this guitar and to break it in, he sings Yesterday by the Beatles.
Not a bad song to break in a guitar, I'd say.
Absolutely.
Sounds pretty lovely.
Now, all these people balk and they say, oh my God, that was so beautiful.
When did you write that?
And he went, I didn't. The Beatles wrote that.
Paul McCartney wrote that.
To which they reply,
who are the Beatles?
Which then leads to our character running home and furiously Googling the Beatles. And then he just gets results of the insect, the
beetle.
He looks up Paul McCartney, gets back Pope John Paul, and he goes to someone's house and says, do you know who the Beatles are? This person says no. And he says, then I'm in a really precarious position. And he chooses, with this precarious position, to pass the Beatles songs off as his own.
Yep.
He is playing the Beatles material, but he is credited as songwriter. He is then lauded as one of the best musicians of all time.
Exactly. Yep.
At the heart of this woman, Lily James, is someone that he's attracted to. She's falling for him, but at the same time, he's got this huge secret. Hey, all these songs aren't fucking his.
Yeah.
And she's trying to assert to him, no, you are super talented. And he's like, that's not really the issue here. It's more so who's actually coming up with this.
Yeah. This is a fun concept, though.
It is absolutely a fun concept. Yeah, it's a really clever concept and one that, like, I'm incredibly interested in.
Yeah.
I will say it is a really unique concept that I'm really digging. I wish it wasn't being used for, like, what looks to just be a romantic comedy. Because it doesn't seem like they're exploring really any of the implications of this. It's like he is caught in a tight bond, but instead of looking at, like, the nature of ownership, anything from an artistic standpoint, it's like the central conflict is there's this pretty girl who I like, and when should I tell her that I'm ripping this off?
That's really interesting because that being your take on it, because I have an almost opposite take where the romance feels like the B plot in this trailer, and the A plot is the moral decisions he has to make because of this, and then being confronted with, like, potentially Paul McCartney and whoever. You want to sub in there.
Yeah.
I see. That's the way I read it. I read it as what you want. That's what it is to me, and then the romance is going to be the side plot of the film.
And I'll say that I didn't feel like they were hitting the moral quandaries enough, because it's basically we get him questioning that at the beginning, and that's the stuff that I loved. Like, that's him Googling and, like, trying and being like, oh my god, this is real.
Yeah,
is awesome. I really enjoy that. But then after that, it's basically just like he takes the songs and then they become huge. And it's like, I don't feel quite right about this. But that conflict hasn't changed from the beginning. We're still at the same point of, like, I'm not sure about this. And
but I'm saying that the movie looks like it is more about that conflict. Whether or not the conflict changes enough for you throughout the movie, it still looks like the movie's more about that conflict than it is about the romantic relationship, in my opinion anyway. That, I guess that's what all I was saying. And I think that's a fair point, that it doesn't look like his attitude changes about it a whole lot throughout the trailer, because they are going for more of a comedy, lighthearted vibe. I think in a darker film, you do touch on those things a little bit more. But I think the concept is just too much fun to focus on the dark stuff a little too much, I think.
Oh, totally. And
maybe. I don't know.
Someone
may have been able to strike the balance.
But to be fair, I don't necessarily think that, like, having those questions, I don't necessarily think that has to be played dark, necessarily. Like, you can find fun ways to have him question the moral ethics of what he's doing.
That's fair. The Good Place, that's all that's about.
That's all that show is like making ethics fun. I really like the joke where it's him playing Let It Be for his parents and a family friend. And they're just kind of like, oh, yeah, no, that's pretty good, I guess.
I'm just listening to Jack's news. I'm proud of him because he's doing something with his life, at least.
Yeah, it's they're just kind of like generic supportive parents as he's playing one of, like, the best rock songs of all time. Like, that's really fun. And I think that stuff is really fun.
Yeah.
But then, like, the entire, like, back portion of this trailer just kind of seems to be our character is in the exact same place he was when he made the decision.
Other than being super famous.
Being super famous. But even then, aside from the Hard Day's Night callback, do we have anything that changes there? Really? Like, from, like, the central conflict of the story.
Not in this trailer, no. I am no qualms about it. I am a huge Danny Boyle fan, just in general. So
I was so surprised to see his name attached.
I'm not. You know why? Because that blessed man tries his hand at a different genre like every decade. I just respect the hell out of him for just trying new stuff all the time. I'm excited to see this because I love Danny Boyle. I think this concept is really fun. I think the singer, the actor, I believe it's probably him.
The
singing.
actor, I'm really digging the actor. He's
has
definitely killing.
Beautiful voice.
Well, and he's definitely killing the comedic.
Oh my god, his look on the face when he sees the beetle, when he's googling Beatles.
He's just like the perfect bewildered straight man.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Lily James. I would love to see her more in starring roles. I feel like I've only been seeing her in supporting stuff lately, but I think she's really talented, and I'd like to see her in more stuff too. Yeah, man, this is a need to see it for me. I loved every aspect of it.
Sure,
it was so fun and exciting. I got a big smile on my face. Good music trailers today, you know?
There's so many music trailers.
Yeah.
I am a really, 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 really high need to see more.
Oh, I thought you were going to go the other way on
sorry.
that.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
It was one or the other.
Apologize,
it was one or the
you
other.
bastard. Come on. You're okay?
Yeah.
You're in a safe space here, Kevin.
I appreciate it.
No fans can jump through the microphone and punch you in the face right here. Just me.
You should punch me in the face.
So good.
We're going to punch me in the face in a second, but before we
I'm
do
going
that...
to take your shoes at least.
Take my shoes. While you take my shoes, I'm going to run through all of our social media.
The spiel, man. Do the spiel.
So you can tell me how much of a fucking dick I am for not liking this trailer. Let's see. You can find us on Facebook. If you just look up Trailer Hitch on Facebook, you can find us there. If you want to keep your quibbles or questions or suggestions to less than 280 characters, you can find us on Twitter at Trailer Hitch Pod. You can also find us on Instagram. You can also send us a picture with your question, quibble, or what have you at Trailer Hitch Podcast.
Or your chipped tooth.
Or chipped tooth. If you are like, I don't want to condense myself at all. I want to go into full detail about how you were wrong about this Beatles thing. You can email us at trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com. You can hit us up also on YouTube. You can leave a comment. Really, we do suggest that you just listen to our backlog on that because that's mostly what we do with that.
Pretty much, yeah.
If you just search Trailer Hitch Podcast in YouTube, you can find our entire backlog on there. So that if you're in a position where you're at work, you don't have access to iTunes, you can still listen to us. But if you have access to iTunes, we do prefer you listen to us there because if you go and find us on iTunes, you can rate and subscribe to us.
It's real easy to do.
We would prefer a high rating, but at this point, we'll take whatever.
I'll take anything, man. As long as you click that subscribe button, that'd be nice.
And if you are among, honestly, it's the majority, but in California, it feels like a minority of people who have an Android phone, want to listen to us on Stitcher, you can also find us there. Now, before we go, we would also like to give a huge thank you to Rachel Ashley, who does the cover art in our show. We'd also love to give a huge thank you to Jenny Hawks, who is our social media and bad movie correspondent.
That's right.
We might be hearing from her soon because we fucked up that
Fingers crossed, we got it coming.
Huge
like
shout
a
out,
freight train.
Huge shout out to Danny Schmitz from Lost in a Name for our amazing intro song. And a huge shout out to Casey Clowers for the bitching outro that you are going to hear momentarily.
That's right.
And also a huge shout out to you, the listener. Thank you. We couldn't do this without you.
Absolutely. That was very nice and well said and quick.
Duh.
We got it done.
Duh.
I just would like to say also for the end,
Yeah.
because this is the end, right? We're done?
Yeah. We're
I
done.
checked one more time. There is still no Star Wars Episode 9 trailer.
You look sad again.
There is still no Star Wars Episode 9 title reveal.
I'm glad we could have given you an hour-long respite from worrying about this.
I check multiple times a day, and I just wanted to bookend this episode, Kevin, with you. There you go.
You know how much I like bookends.
Yeah.
God damn it, I have to keep this.
You can't mount holy sails without a sailor stitch, and you can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
We have our main drag far off in the distance. We have the first Child's Play trailer to talk about. We also have...
We have also other movies.
Yeah, fuck, right? I was in the exact same boat as
God
you.
damn it, Kevin. Why do we do this every time? Wait, I got my email.
Cool.
I got my email.
Cool.
I'm still looking at my email. I'm trying to find the right thread.
Take your time.
I'm taking
I'm
my
going to be
time.
so
This
fucking
is-
mad when I
this
edit
is
this
great.
and all this
No,
is in here.
This is beautiful. This is for the
Do
end.
I have time to get more whiskey?
This is the post-credit scene. Yes, get more whiskey. Me too. That's a good post-credit scene.
Yeah, it'll do.